Hey guys, Brian here. Welcome back to the shop. It's time for another Well That Ain't Good. So, as some of you may have recalled from around a year ago, this beautiful beast that is residing in the shop's door here had what I'm fairly certain is a catastrophic failure. If you know what this thing is, then you likely know what's wrong with it, because this is one of those, I think it's 2-liter. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what these are. 2-liter turbo Audi engine, which is a piece of garbage. Before I even got this car, it had already been rebuilt once because some kind of piston issue, oil control, something, I don't know. But it ran pretty good. But because of its overcomplication and the need for performance, it has self-destructed. I'm pretty sure we got cam phasers on here for high performance, and pretty sure that's the issue that has come about here. It threw a timing code error once and shut it off and pulled the cam sensor to see if that was what the problem was. When it started back up, it was misfiring, and decided no, it probably wasn't what it was. So managed to drive it home and shut it off, and the next time I went to start, it probably jumped time, so I'm pretty sure it tagged all the valves and no longer has compression, best I recall. When I last fooled with this thing, you hit the starter and it just whee, and didn't really act like it was doing nothing. So I'm gonna say we've got some catastrophic upper end damage here. We're gonna have to replace some valves, probably pull the head off, and go in here in this front end and fix all the timing rigmarole that has no doubt come apart. Probably a tensioner's come apart and let the chain get slack, and then it's just jumped teeth and then crashed and destroyed itself. Because I mean, if you're an engineer in the automotive world, you know, they never have figured out how to make decent cam slides and stuff for timing chains, because virtually every manufacturer that has these overly complicated, super long timing chains has failure issues with the adjusters and all that stuff. It's just too hard to do to keep all that stuff tight for mile after mile after mile. So for the price of performance, you get it to work on an engine. It's just the way it goes, I guess. Only so many horsepower miles in an engine. The smaller it is, the more horsepower it makes, the less time it lasts. But the boss lady says this thing has to be fixed because it's got heated seats and a moonroof, and you know, those are things that are important to women. So what we're gonna do is see if we can't bring this thing back to life and get it back on the road again. If I can get the battery to come up enough to try and crank this thing over, I will try and check it one more time before I totally dismantle it. But I guess I just will start pulling this front end off, because I'm sure that's where we're gonna wind up. Well, got some progress. Managed to get the front bumper off. I guess you call it a bumper. I don't know. Maybe it's a fascia or something. Not sure on these modern high-tech vehicles what you call that piece of plastic dress. So, but there it is. I looked at some videos online to try and help me figure out how to get this off, but it was not quite the same as the ones that I saw. I think because this car is a turbo, the front end may be slightly different than in the other A4 videos I looked at that were non-turbo vehicles. But anyway, they had the fasteners up there, those two. The videos I looked at showed some up here in the middle, but they're not on this one. It's got these two at the top, and all the ones along the bottom, and those two at the sides. There are 3 at the sides. 2 in the fender wells, and then that one. And 1 in here. anyway, that gets me down to, I think the next thing I want to do is figure out how to get this brace out of here that appears to be holding the radiator and AC condenser and the intercooler. The intercoolers on these cars, where they're way down low, they take a pretty good beating. You can see the gravel damage to this core. It's been bashed up pretty good. Probably a 50% loss in efficiency there. If this car was run hard, that could be a problem, but it never gets run hard, so I'm not really worried about that. I'm not gonna be setting any codes because we're not running any races, just driving. Well, I don't know if that's how you're supposed to do it or not, but I pulled the whole front end off as a cooler module. Took the main bolts out and the two on each corner. I had to take the headlights out first to get to everything, disconnected the linkages and pulled the whole thing. Now I got good access to the front of this engine. And got to pull the front cover off and see what kind of disaster I find. I got a good idea what it's going to be, but we're going to find out, and I'm sure the head's going to have to come off and do some valves. Hopefully the pistons won't be trashed. Well, that's going to be the end of this episode of Well That Ain't Good, but we're down to where the engine is, so tune in next time and we'll see what kind of catastrophic damage we got on this over-engineered, fabulous piece of machinery. Thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, I'll catch y'all later.